All right, get ready to dive into something kind of different today. We're going to be unpacking those weird, wonderful thoughts you get when you least expect them. Like those mini epiphanies in the shower, the ones that make you question everything for a hot minute. We're talking Reddit's Our Shower Thoughts.
It's amazing how these little mind musings, these shower thoughts, really show how our brains tick. It's
Yep.
like we're all closet philosophers in there trying to make sense of the world one bar of soap at a time.
And the kicker, there are tons of people online doing the exact same thing. It's like this giant global brainwave sync up, constantly buzzing with aha
Yeah,
moments.
more than just sharing, though, right? There's a certain social validation to it, I think. Finding someone else who gets your specific brand of weird thought that's gold. See? It's like you're saying, the universe eye is conspiring with me while I'm brushing my teeth.
Totally. Which brings us to why we're here today. We're going to break down what makes these little thought bombs so intriguing and why there's a whole community dedicated to them. We've got a treasure trove of top shower thoughts straight from the subreddit, all snagged on October 13th, 2024, just for you.
And, oh, believe me, there are some real gems in there. But before we get to the really mind-blowing stuff, let's set the scene a little. What exactly are shower thoughts? We're talking those tiny epiphanies that suddenly make the ordinary. Well, not so ordinary. Like, ever think about how a T-Rex probably tasted like chicken?
Okay, wait, hold up. Someone actually wondered if a T-Rex tasted like chicken. Gotta admit, it's a thought I've had once or twice, maybe.
Right. Sounds crazy on the surface, but there's something deeper there. It's this urge we have to connect the totally unknown to something we know, like our trusty chicken dinner. It says a lot about how we see ourselves at the center of everything, even when we're talking about extinct giant lizards.
And our love for chicken, clearly. But okay, it's not all about dinosaurs and their hypothetical taste. One of the things that makes this subreddit so fascinating is that the shower thoughts, as random as they seem, often tap into these like universal themes.
Totally agree. If you look closely at them, these patterns start to emerge. We see a lot of observations about human behavior, those quirks and contradictions that make us, well, us. Like this one, for example, taking up 2 parking spots only really inconveniences one person.
Oh, that is so true. It's funny because it's like, yeah, technically, but also why does it make us so mad when it happens? It's like our sense of fairness gets all tangled up with this primal need to defend our parking territory.
Exactly. This is where psychology comes in. It's tied to something called the endowment effect. We tend to overvalue things we see as ours, even for a second, like a parking space. Makes zero logical sense, but hey, that's humans for you.
So shower thoughts, they're not just random brain farts, they're like these little glimpses into our collective psyche.
Absolutely. And speaking of glimpses, another big theme we see is our fascination with history and how things change over time. We stumble upon these thoughts that make us question our whole understanding of the past.
Mhm.
Like this gem, people with the last name King probably don't have any royal blood.
So true. It makes you wonder how many other stories we tell ourselves about history are more like romanticized than accurate.
Exactly.
Ugh.
And this goes way beyond just last names. The way we see history is always filtered through these narratives, both personal and societal. Like take surnames, for example. They weren't even common in most cultures until, like, a few centuries ago.
Wait, really? Tell me more.
Yeah, for the longest time, most people just had one name. Surnames, or family names as they're sometimes called. They came about because we needed a way to keep track of everyone as populations grew, and record-keeping got more complex. Occupations, locations, even physical traits, all these things played a role in how those names came to be. It's this fascinating look into how our identities, even something as seemingly permanent as a last name, have evolved.
Wow, okay. Serious history lesson in our shower thought deep dive. But you're right, it shows how even simple observations can unravel these huge ideas. And it's not just the past these shower thoughts make us think about, right? We see tons of speculation about the future, too.
Absolutely. There's a lot of anxiety, excitement, and just plain wonder about where we're headed, especially with technology moving so fast. Like, will kids today even understand using cash when everything's digital? It's a question a lot of us are asking.
It's kind of wild to think about. It's like we're living in a sci-fi movie that's constantly being written as we go.
And shower thoughts really capture that sense of living on the edge of the unknown. But they also show another big part of being human that need to understand it all, even the stuff that seems totally random.
Okay, we've talked themes and trends and all that, but now I want to get into some specific shower thoughts. The ones that really show just how wild this subreddit can get. Because it's not all deep thoughts and existential crises, right? Sometimes it's just pure absurdity.
Oh, absolutely. Shower thoughts live in that sweet spot between, whoa, dude, and wait, that's weirdly profound.
You got it. Like, check out this gem. Beets in a fruit salad make a lot more sense than fruit in a regular salad. I mean, it's so simple, but it makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about salad and fruit and beets.
I love that one. It's like we have this deep need to categorize things even when the categories make no sense.
Yeah.
Who decided tomatoes were a vegetable anyway?
Right. Like, big salad is out to get us, I'm telling you. Okay, but on a more serious note, this next one really got me thinking. Your inner monologue is an unreliable narrator.
Ooh, that's a thinker.
Yeah.
It really messes with your sense of self. Like, if you can't even trust your own thoughts, what can you trust, right?
Hold on, hold on. Are we saying we can't trust our own thoughts? Are we living in some kind of Matrix meets Truman Show situation here?
Not necessarily,
Yeah.
but it does show how even our own minds can be biased. Our thoughts and memories, they're always being filtered through our experiences, what we believe, even our mood at that moment. It's never a completely neutral playback.
So it's like we're all walking around with these, like, edited highlight reels of reality playing in our heads?
In a way, yeah. And that's why it's good to be aware of those biases, to question our assumptions, to get different perspectives, which, funny enough, is something shower thoughts can actually help us do.
That's a really good point. By putting all these different thoughts out there, even the ones that seem completely out there, it forces us to look at things in a new way. Okay, brace yourselves, folks, because this next one is a little more intense, let's say. It's the one about how somewhere there's a tree growing that'll eventually be your coffin.
Yeah, that will stop you in your tracks. It's a reminder that we're all on borrowed time, which is something a lot of people don't like to think about. But it also shows how shower thoughts can cut through all the BS and hit us with the big questions.
No kidding. It's deep stuff, disguised as a random thought. But hey, for every existentially terrifying shower thought, there's usually one that's just plain funny to balance things out, you know?
Oh, for sure. Humor is a big part of why people love shower thoughts.
Absolutely. And this next one is a prime example of shower thought humor at its finest. The heart being autonomous is an evolutionary trait, which may suggest that at some point in evolution it wasn't, and some animals could voluntarily stop their own hearts and die.
Okay, think about it. Our hearts, they just do their thing. But imagine if, way back when, some creature could just choose to shut theirs down.
Yeah.
Imagine the power plays like Pass the Salt or Elsie.
Oh my gosh, the drama. But seriously, it's such a weird, funny thought. It really makes you wonder about all the other paths evolution could have taken.
Exactly. It's like peeking into an alternate dimension where life and death had a whole different set of rules. And that, in a way, brings us back to why we love shower thoughts. They remind us that the world is full of these strange, unexpected connections. It's a weird, wonderful place.
So true. Now, before we go full-on existential crisis mode, I do want to bring it back to our listeners for a sec, because this isn't just about the shower thoughts we shared today, right? This is about the shower thoughts you, listening right now, are having.
Exactly. We all have those aha moments, those little bursts of insight that change how we see things, even for a minute.
They're not just for Reddit threads, right? Shower thoughts, they're happening in your own head all the time.
And that's what's so cool about it. It's like this universal thing we all do, finding those little moments of wonder in the everyday.
Exactly. So next time you're in the shower, stuck in traffic, or, just staring at a wall, pay attention to those little thoughts popping up. You might be surprised what you find.
Don't just brush them off, even if they seem random or silly. Sometimes those weird thoughts, they lead to the most interesting places.
Speaking of interesting places, remember that shower thought we talked about earlier? About aliens watching us. Got us thinking. If there are aliens out there studying us, what would their shower thoughts be? Like, what would they find fascinating, confusing, or just plain funny about us humans?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, let's put on our alien anthropologist hats for a sec.
Oh.
Imagine them observing us, these strange humans.
Love it. Okay, hit me with your best alien shower thought.
Okay, how about this? They seem to get so much joy out of putting a small round object through a hoop, often with very loud cheering and strange rituals involved. The purpose remains unclear, but it's strangely compelling to watch.
Oh, I can totally see an alien being confused by basketball or, like, golf.
Right. Or, how about this? Despite having these complex languages, they still make all these weird faces and hand gestures to communicate, highly inefficient and yet strangely endearing.
So true. We humans do rely on nonverbal stuff a lot, even with all our technology. Okay, your turn. Another alien shower thought. Go.
All right. How about Their obsession with taking pictures of everything they do, everything they eat, it's like they're obsessed with their own short existence. Maybe they know something we don't.
Okay, that one's a little ominous, but also kind of deep. It makes you think about how our whole concept of time might seem totally bizarre to a species that, maybe doesn't experience it the same way. Or at all.
And that's what we were hoping to do with this deep dive. Spark a little curiosity, a bit of introspection, maybe even a newfound appreciation for those weird, thought-provoking moments we all have.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And hey, who knows, maybe this whole conversation got those shower thought gears turning for you. If so, we want to hear them. Share your mini epiphanies with us in the comments. Until next time, keep those shower thoughts coming. And remember, even the most ordinary moments can spark some extraordinary ideas.